Denzel Washington, one of Hollywood's most respected actors, has been a symbol of strength, discipline, and unwavering faith throughout his illustrious career. Born on December 28, 1954, in Mount Vernon, New York, he rose from humble beginnings, carving a path to greatness. Known for his versatility, from playing the moral force of Malcolm X to the ruthless precision in Training Day, Denzel has never merely acted. He embodies the essence of the roles he plays. His journey is a testament to resilience and belief, rising from a fractured home to claim the world's brightest stage. The 70-year-old actor, celebrated by millions, has paid a heavy price for his success, experiencing losses that few have seen. But even at the peak of his career, the weight of his struggles and sacrifices continue to shape him. A fractured home and early struggles, Denzel Washington's childhood was marked by the dissolution of his parents' marriage when he was just 14. Raised in Mount Vernon, New York, in a working-class household, his father, Reverend Denzel Hayes Washington Sr., was a Pentecostal minister who ruled the household with strict discipline, while his mother, Lennis, ran a beauty salon. Despite their hard work, affection was sparse in the Washington household, creating an emotional distance that Denzel would later acknowledge. His parents' divorce in 1968 created an emotional void for Denzel, as he remained with his mother while his father slowly faded from his life. The pain of this absence, though not explosive, quietly shaped Denzel's character, creating a deep well of unresolved emotions that would continue to influence his life. Turning to the streets and a life-altering decision. Growing up in Mount Vernon, Denzel found himself at a crossroads, with the streets offering quick belonging and a dangerous allure. He often found himself surrounded by peers who sought reputation and risk, confusing recklessness for courage. As he reflected on those years, he admitted that many of his friends ended up incarcerated. His mother, recognizing the dangerous path Denzel was heading down, made a decisive decision to send him to the Oakland Military Academy in New Windsor, New York. At just 14, Denzel felt banished. The academy's rigid discipline and the early morning drill commands were a harsh contrast to the freedom he had known. Yet, it was there, in that structured world, that Denzel learned to master endurance and self-discipline. This experience ultimately saved his life and gave him the tools to navigate the challenging years ahead. The power of discipline and transformation. Denzel Washington's time at the military academy marked a significant turning point in his life. The disciplined environment taught him lessons that the streets never could, imparting to him the ability to endure without seeking attention and to remain composed under pressure. "Discipline became my first language," he once said, reflecting on the profound impact his mother's decision had on him. When he returned home, he was no longer drawn to the streets, and the turbulence of his youth began to subside. While the emotional scars of his past remained, the lessons learned in military school laid the foundation for his future success. They shaped his approach to acting, instilling in him a sense of control and discipline that would define his career. The struggle to survive and find purpose. After leaving home for Fordham University in the early 1970s, Denzel Washington faced a new set of challenges. New York was cold, both literally and figuratively. His pockets were empty, and his dorm room was a place of isolation and hunger. Denzel's determination to stay afloat kept him moving, working odd jobs to survive, from scrubbing floors to hauling boxes. Despite the physical toll, he never lost his drive. As he later recalled, "I didn't know what I wanted. I was just trying to stay afloat." There were nights when he could hardly keep himself warm, but he kept pushing forward, knowing that he couldn't afford to give up. It was during these years that Denzel began to develop the mental toughness that would serve him well in the future. The spark of a dream and a new path. In the summer of 1975, Denzel Washington's life took a new direction. While working at a YMCA camp in Lakeville, New York, a talent show provided an unexpected opportunity. When the scheduled performer dropped out, Denzel stepped in, not knowing what to expect. His natural instinct took over, and the audience responded with laughter and applause. A woman in the crowd was struck by his presence and told him, "You were born to act." This moment of recognition changed everything for Denzel. It wasn't just praise that struck him, but the realization that he had found his true calling. He returned to school, changed his major to drama, and graduated in 1977 with a new sense of purpose. Pursuit of his dream, struggling in San Francisco. With his new path set, Denzel Washington moved to San Francisco to attend the American Conservatory Theater. The life of a struggling actor was anything but glamorous. Denzel lived in a damp, cold room with barely enough money to eat. The Pacific wind seemed to cut through him as he practiced his lines late into the night. But he was undeterred, driven by the fire inside him to succeed. Some nights he survived on only bread and water, but he knew that every step forward was a step closer to his dream. "When I stood under the lights, I didn't feel cold," he later recalled, reflecting on the strength that carried him through those tough times. The long road to recognition. After a year in San Francisco, Denzel Washington returned to New York, determined to make it in the acting world. He auditioned tirelessly, facing rejection after rejection. The days were long, and the nights were even longer, spent in waiting rooms, couches, and floors, hoping for a breakthrough. Despite the constant rejection, Denzel's resolve never wavered. "Something in me kept showing up," he said, emphasizing his determination to keep fighting for his dream. His first major role came in 1977 with the film Wilma, followed by the popular TV show Saint Elsewhere in 1982. Slowly but surely, the world began to notice his talent, rising to prominence. A slow and deliberate ascent, Denzel Washington's rise to fame was not a fast one. It was the result of years of persistence, struggle, and endurance. He didn't climb to the top with a single big break, but carved his way through film after film, each role adding to his stature. His first Oscar nomination came for his portrayal of a South African freedom fighter in Cry Freedom, 1987. And his victory followed in 1989 with Glory, a role that earned him his first Academy Award. Each role Denzel took on had a personal significance, reflecting the struggles and lessons he had learned in his own life. He portrayed figures like Malcolm X and Reuben "Hurricane" Carter, bringing depth and authenticity to each performance. Legacy beyond the spotlight, mentoring the next generation. As Denzel Washington's career flourished, he didn't just focus on his own success. He became a mentor and a guiding light for the next generation of actors. One of the most profound relationships he built was with Chadwick Boseman, who called Denzel Sir. Denzel's response, "Just call me brother," encapsulated his approach to mentorship: humble, generous, and deeply supportive. When Chadwick passed away, Denzel reflected on his impact, carrying the weight of that loss with quiet strength. This legacy of lifting others without seeking the spotlight is what sets Denzel apart from many in Hollywood: a life of discipline, integrity, and love. Throughout his career, Denzel Washington has consistently chosen integrity over spectacle, discipline over indulgence, and truth over illusion. His life and work have shown the world that greatness doesn't come easily. It is earned through struggle, sacrifice, and a relentless commitment to staying true to oneself. His marriage to Pleta Pearson, a woman who steadied him during the ups and downs of his career, is another testament to his commitment to building a life based on love, discipline, and respect. Their bond, forged quietly in 1977, remains a cornerstone of his strength, a reminder that true success is not just about achievements, but about the relationships that sustain us along the way.